Wisconsin by a score of 1-0. You know Paula Wilkins will have an answer, and moments ago we caught up with the Big Ten Coach of the Year. Coach, obviously this young Purdue team came ready to play. What's your message to your team to get back in this one?
You know, I think Purdue's sitting in a very good block for us right now, so we have to move the ball a lot faster with our tempo and find better gaps. I think we're being a little bit impatient with some of the stuff that we're doing, and we just have to be a little bit more patient. I'd like to get outside wide a little bit more. We've got to get somebody on that near post to block the defender there, but for us, I think if we can move it a little bit faster and get around the outside, we'll be a little bit better. But their block has been good. It's a good thing for us to have to learn, and we'll see if our maturity can come out in the second half.
With a team of veteran players, how do you plan to get your outside backs? I feel like they weren't able to get as high up the field as you usually do.
I think the biggest thing is the tempo of our center backs. I think we've got to be able to play a little bit faster. I want to see if Claire Shea can break the forward on the opposite side to get Macy a little bit higher. And hopefully we can get Lauren Rice then outside wide and can do some damage out there wide.
Paula, congrats on being named Coach of the Year, and thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Claire Shea, part of the comments from Paula Wilkins, the center back, directing traffic, and nothing like a little adversity here as the #1 seed. A lot of celebration, right? They were waiting for the right time for the t-shirts and hats. They actually did the presentation of the t-shirts and hats and the trophy in the locker room rather on your former field, but a big celebration indeed. Then went out and beat a very hungry Ohio State team that needed to knock off Wisconsin to get in the Big Ten tournament. But this young Purdue team that came in here starting 7 sophomores, 3 freshmen, and a junior, of course, used the goal from a senior, and they lead at 1-0.
They did. Wisconsin had a very impressive Big Ten season, and they've carried that into the game a little bit. You see sparks of how good all these individual players are individually, but coming together as a team. But Purdue just came in with so much energy, has been on the front foot, and didn't let up the whole half. But Wisconsin coming in, they're a group of veteran players. They want this. They were excited to be in postseason play, and they're not done or happy with just winning the regular season. So expecting them to come out with a lot of energy and get a goal back and tie this one up.
Of course, Hannah Davison was at Northwestern 2015 through 18. The year before she got there was the last time a #8 seed beat a #1 seed when Northwestern knocked off #1 Penn State by a score of 1-0, which is what your score line is now. So you're going to go back to 2014, the last time an 8 seed knocked off a 1 seed in the Big Ten tournament. Congratulations to Mike O'Neill and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights as they set records this year for wins in Big Ten play. If not for Wisconsin, we'd probably be talking about Rutgers, and Rutgers, courtesy of that own goal, will be at home next Friday for the semifinals. That's got to be a great treat for that team.
Absolutely. You always want to have a home advantage, especially in the Big Ten tournament. You don't have to travel. You're familiar with the field, and get those big home crowds that really do add so much energy to your team when it's late in that second half. Your legs are starting to get tired. Brings so much energy and gives you a little bit more.
Throw in from Purdue. Last couple years, the Big Ten tournament for the men and women has been in Grand Park, neutral site, just outside of Indianapolis, Indiana. Wonderful facility with tons of fields, but kind of out in the open. Really, there's no cover for bad weather. As you know, Hannah Davison, it's kind of nice maybe to be back at a site of one of the teams.
It is, and my junior year at Northwestern, playing in the Big Ten championship game, had a little bit of a rain delay that resulted in 5 or 6 hours being inside. The game actually got moved indoors. The Wildcats were up 1-0 heading into that delay, and Penn State ended up coming up on top, but just really hard to play in some of these locations where the field is not the best, especially given some bad weather.
Little deflection. Bova is ready for it. All right, on the other side, if you're Drew Roth, the top man at Purdue, I certainly liked his comments. What do you think his message is, knowing that Wisconsin, they're going to bring it, right? They got a lot of pride as the #1 seed.
I think you do look to play a little bit more conservative in the second half. You can maybe drop another player into that back line and you just have to tell him you need to stay patient, you got to keep the ball, don't allow for some mental lapse in the back line, which he touched on last time they played Wisconsin. They did well. They looked good in stretches of the game, but just had too many mental lapses that allowed Wisconsin to capitalize. And that game was also just 1-0, but Wisconsin on the other end of it. So I think you just need to be calm and patient, not give away anything too silly.
There's a foul by Melky.
Melchiori just trying to drop back, steps in front, gets too much body. Probably can stay on her feet and just continue to push her wide. I don't think she has to go down there and cause that foul.
Allie Melky wearing number 9, doubling up at 18 is Hannah Melchiori from Canada. And here is Shea. Paula Wilkins talking about her ability to start the offense. Douglas heads it down. Jaskinek gets a piece of it. Shea comes forward, touches it back in, and cleared by Purdue. Picked back up. Biegoski's gonna take a shot, but that'll be well over the crossbar. No problem for Bova.
A service that was poorly cleared by Purdue's back line. Cameron gets on the end of it, looks up, and has a little bit of time and space to get a shot off, but just sails it over the crossbar.
Melky battling initially. Now played up front. Dropped back there by Rebimbis, a freshman from West Caldwell, New Jersey, who would like nothing more to be back in New Jersey this weekend for the semifinals in Piscataway. Lambert getting the start in this one ahead of Sydney Duarte. Duarte did come off the bench as Purdue playing a ton of players. Biegoski looking for Murtha. Patrick always in the right place with the shield. This Purdue team's got a different swagger than we saw during the year. Purdue was on a couple times on the Big Ten Network, and they battled out with Ohio State, zeros the whole way. She was playing left back, was really, really good, but they didn't have the same swagger. I mean, here they are, Wisconsin 10-0-1, and they've not showed any nerves, no silly plays. They've been confident the entire way.
They have, and like we touched on earlier, they're coming into this game as the underdogs. All the pressure was on Wisconsin to perform tonight and get this win, so they just got to relax, go out, play their game, and like you said, the narrative of their season has kind of been they're playing well, they're competing with these teams, but just not getting the result at the end of the day. So to get that goal early on was huge for this Purdue team, and hopefully can hold on to that for another 45 minutes.
Yeah, they are going to feel like these 38 minutes that are now left are going to be the longest minutes of their life, as getting that goal with less than 2 minutes remaining. I just can't imagine the feeling of enthusiasm and praise and positivity coming from Drew Roff and the coaching staff.
And I think it's also huge to get that goal before halftime. I've been on the end of a team that scored right before half, and it's nice to have that halftime to kind of relax. Sometimes when you score a goal and you're so excited, it can cause a little bit of a mental lapse, lose their concentration. That allows the other team to come back into it. So I think they scored at the perfect time. They're bringing momentum into the second half, and had a little bit of a halftime talk to maybe reorganize, get someone more in the back line, drop it to a 5-back, and just calm down a little bit, refocus, and be ready to hold on to this lead.
Real pleasure to be with former Northwestern defender Hannah Davison. I'm Dean Linke, delighted to be with you on the Big Ten Network for Big Ten Women's Soccer quarterfinal action in the Big Ten Women's Soccer Tournament. Biegoski marked far side by Melky. It'll go off of Melky, throw in for Biegoski and the Wisconsin Badgers. All things considered, as Paula Wilkins told us earlier in the week, she was really concerned mostly just about the weather, how cold it was going to be. Yeah, it's gloves and hats weather, but it's not too bad if you're a soccer player. I think you're going to tell me, Hannah, you don't mind playing in this kind of weather, at least no precipitation. It's cold, but it's not unbearable.
Absolutely. It definitely is easier to run around for 90 minutes when it's not scorching hot and you get a nice breeze. There's no bad weather, no rain, no snow. I take this any day for a Big Ten tournament game.
Right?
In November.
Shea. And hit a ball on a dime. That time, not so there. It is a little windy, including the